What's up? What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live here on I was about to say September the 9th, but it's June the 9th. Got to get that straight. It is June the 9th, 2020, just after the 9 p.m. hour. This is our third stream today, bringing the family, bringing the gang right back together again. What's up, everybody? Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. Don't forget to check out TD Phins Talk on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All at TD Phins Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you can find my content at dolphinstalk.com. What's up, Rhino Seath, man? I appreciate you, homie. Guys, I want to start this show showing a little bit of appreciation. I want to show a little bit of appreciation. First and foremost, there's a lot of individuals who help this channel in their own special way. I want to give a special shout out to all the mods who do their due day in and day out in the comment section, helping me maintain a safe environment for those to come and enjoy every single stream. So shout out to the mod squad. Thank y'all so much, man. Special shout out to the homie Vic Coaster, man. I appreciate everything you do for the channel. Shout out to William Harmon. Shout out to everybody who donates via PayPal. Shout out to the Patreon members, man. Those who commit to TD Phins Talk on a monthly basis to support the channel as well. Special shout out to Finsanity 5, who's been rocking with me for quite some time and has always had my back no matter what. Love her for that. Shout out to Chef Jew, man. I appreciate you being a homie to me and my family. And shout out to Quint Riddle, man. He always coming in stirring up the pot. You putting those messages with the donation, making sure that they're read, and always stirring up the pot. And Finsanity, hey, he got something for you coming soon. You better watch out for him. But you know what? I want to give a special shout out to one individual in particular, guys. I want to shout out Rhino Seath. Why am I shouting out Rhino Seath? Okay. One thing I can tell you, I noticed Rhino Seath through. We actually, believe it or not, we get in a lot of disagreements and arguments in the comment section. And I'm always calling out stuff he says on occasions. We go back and forth. But the thing I appreciate a lot about Rhino Seath, he's always in the comment section promoting the channel. I'm looking at it even right now. Let me show y'all, give y'all an example of what he posts throughout videos every single time, man. He's basically promoting the channel the best way he can. He always putting things like this in the comment section, letting new people that come into the building know that this is definitely where you want to be here at TD Phins Talk. So I wanted to say, man, I've noticed what you've been doing, and I appreciate that. Even though we argue all the time about football, and our arguments, I be yelling sometimes, and he's still, after an argument, he posts, hey, TD want to keep this a family show. He want to make sure that people subscribe and hit the like button. He's always promoting the show, man. And I really do appreciate that. I don't talk to Rhino Seath on a level of, hey, man, can you help me with this and that? He does that on his own will every single chance he gets. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want everybody to do that because I don't want the comment section flooded like that. But when Rhino Seath is in the building, he holds it down enough. Okay, so I don't want people to be like, okay, I'll start doing it. Doing it, TD. No, it's nothing like that. I just had to give him a special shout out because I be appreciating that, man, and I have noticed it. All right. He said, I love our community, and we love you too, man. Shout out to DraftKings, FanDuel, GPP, Central TV with the donation. Said, you saved us from Reason and EM Bull Talk. Y'all leave those guys alone, man. Y'all, they doing their thing, man. They doing their thing. Y'all leave them alone. We're not going to go there. I didn't even know if they're alive. I'm assuming that's what you meant. They were live. So I had no idea. But hey, man, shout out to them. Wish them the very best in their endeavors. But again, I want to thank every single one of you all all right, for everything that you do for the channel. Also, I wanted to give a special shout out to Dwayne Wood and Havoc, who's been rocking with me over the last month and adding great value to the channel. Also, Larry L comes in and gives his contributions in every way he can. Then you have Marcus, who's always showing love and support, coming in. He's like that swift guy that comes in, drop those bombs and get out. You know, he's a cool guy, man. And I just want to say, man, overall, I just love our environment. I love our family cohesiveness. I love our bond that we all have with each other, man. We rocks with each other. We rocks with each other. So that can't be replaced, ladies and gentlemen. That cannot be replaced when you find a home that you rock with people. Strangers. Let's get that straight. We're all strangers to each other, but yet we know each other so well. We know each other from a distance. And I love it, man. It doesn't get any better than that. Only if we can create this type of environment within the nation where everybody rocks with each other no matter what. And I'm glad that we're doing that. And we're going to build on it. We're going to build on that. And guys, you can help me build on it by going to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Go to Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. We want to get the word out. So when TD tweets something, share it with other people. It's going to be Dolphins related. There's a lot of Dolphins family out there that don't even know that we as a family exist. And we want them to come on home to the home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. And that's over here at TDPHINSTALK, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I wanted to get that off before we got started tonight because it's a lot going on tonight and we're going to have some fun as always. Now, at the top of the hour, I'm not going to tell y'all now, but today y'all going to see who TD's number one player on our roster is. Who is my favorite player on the roster? I did a poll on YouTube. I did a poll on Twitter. I did something on Instagram, Facebook. And it was just interesting out there that everybody said that my number one player that I love on this roster is Devontae Parker. And ladies and gentlemen, you were wrong. You were wrong. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm going to tell you at the end of the show. But this show, we're going to talk about several topics. But I'm going to open up the show with many of our panelists, and I want to hear from you all because I want to know who your favorite player on this roster is and why. And y'all already know we're going to start it off at the top with the queen herself, Phins.
I already knew you were coming to me first, but come on, man. How are you doing, TD?
I'm great, man. Another day down. It's a beautiful day. We're going to make it to Wednesday. Me and you in the morning. We're going to do our thing, man. That's right. Keep it moving.
Listen, Tuesdays are typically the busiest days for us. That and because Thursdays I get to relax because you get Dwayne Wood details with Dwayne. Make sure you guys are here on Thursday. Support my boy Dwayne. And then Friday, we have to do the morning show, but at night you're getting killed in Madden, and I get to just chill and laugh so much that it makes.
All right, y'all. So we're not gonna let her keep disrespecting us with disrespecting me about getting killed in Madden. I told you I'm doing it for the people. Come on.
Right. That's the narrative we have to push. TD is losing for your benefit, everybody. That's how much he loves you, that he's willing to sacrifice his reputation in Madden.
Phins, an undercover hater, y'all, just like she hated on Tammy.
You're really taking this started from the bottom. Now we hear thing too far. Like, geez, like how much more beanies can you hit? Like, you know what, TD? You keep taking them. Hi, Anthony. How are you? You keep taking them like a champ. So I'll be there Friday to enjoy it. I won't be there this Friday. I have an event on Friday, so I won't be there on Friday.
You're gonna miss the first victory.
TD.
All right, man. I ain't gonna let you talk about my Madden skills. I ain't gonna let you talk about my Madden skills. So, who is your favorite Miami Dolphin player and why?
Why are we asking rhetorical questions today?
Ain't no critical question.
It's a rhetorical question. Listen, my favorite player is Bobby McCain.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
TD,
are you kidding me?
I've been very consistent about this.
Bobby McCain, outside of your obvious attraction to him, he's your legitimate favorite player from is he really your favorite player?
First of all, it's not about Strong One and hi Josh Fernandez. First of all, it's not
putting
about
you on blast every chance I get.
It's not. It's not about an attraction to Bobby McCain. It's about a pure attraction to his playing style and the way he plays and the way he leaves it all on the field week after week. I love Bobby. You know.
It's hard to take this one. It's hard to take this one serious. But so that's why.
What? I listen.
Because
I just love. I love his attitude. I love his leadership. I love his playing style. I love that he's not afraid to hit. I love that he's not afraid to try to go for an open field tackle. I mean, at least he's going to get an arm or a hand or a finger on the guy if he doesn't bring him down. It's not like he's going to completely miss. And Bobby sacrifices himself. Like Bobby will, if it means getting ran over to get the tackle, then Bobby will do that. You can't stop smiling because I really feel like Bobby doesn't get the credit and the adoration that he deserves for what he does for this team. Listen, when he sacrificed, himself to move out the nickel last year, after that, I was just like, he's just such a selfless player. Like, not a lot of people would do that and like take that risk and take that bullet. But Bobby did, and he took it like a champ week after week until he got injured. And he had some interceptions last year, so let's go, Bobby. Have a great comeback year. Comeback player of the year for the Miami Dolphins. Bobby McCain.
I can't deal with that. I cannot deal with that. And everybody backstage, please be patient with me. I think I got like 10 people backstage. What's up, Havoc? What's going on, homie?
Hi, Havoc.
How's it going, everybody?
Man, we're good, man. Please save us from this Bobby McCain talk. Can you let us know who your favorite Miami Dolphin is and why?
We need to expand this and talk about not just on the current roster, but
No. We're not going there yet. We're going to have that day.
I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here, though. I think a guy that has not fully unlocked his potential, but a guy that he brings a lot to the table, production-wise, from personality-wise. He's in the community. He's a solid guy, and I think when his football career is done, he's going to be able to just be an entertaining personality. Christian Wilkins. He's probably my favorite player on this roster because I don't think we've scratched the surface of how productive he can be for us. And I mean, ever since I saw him when they won that national championship, my man is a 300-pound defensive tackle doing a full split on national TV, staring at the camera. I was like, man, this guy is something else. And then you see him get drafted. He's out here blowing Goodell 10 yards back. Like, come on, man. Wilkins is my guy. That's my guy. I like
Christian. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. I love Wilkins. He's not my favorite, but I love Wilkins. So that's 2 down for TD. Well, 3 down. It's not Parker, it's not Bobby, and it's not Wilkins. So all y'all who continue to try to guess, you're wrong, okay? You're wrong. That's interesting. Christian Wilkins is a safe one. I can't even believe Bobby's being mentioned, but that's a whole nother story in the top right corner.
We will have this Bobby McCain appreciation stream, TD. We will have this.
God.
Listen, I almost literally bought a towel that had Bobby's sweat on it. Like somebody told me it was like a game towel from Bobby, and I literally almost bought it, but since I couldn't verify that it was, I wasn't going to do it because for all I know, somebody could just send me a random towel with their sweat on, and that would just be weird. So I was just like,
I mean, to be honest, having a Bobby McCain towel with sweat on it is weird too. So it's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges.
I think it was a game towel.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Finsanity's ridiculous with this one.
How was that TD?
Man, let me bring some reason in here. What up, Quint?
Oh Lord. What?
Hey, I brought him on just for you, Finsanity.
Is you? Good morning, Jazza.
What's going on, Finsanity? I can get you to meet him.
Nah.
Whenever you come down here to Florida, I can have you meet him.
It's not that deep though. I feel like people think it's that deep.
You gushing.
I'm not though.
Look at you. You cuss like a little schoolgirl.
No, first of all, my thing is like this.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about, the hits and the plays that Bobby makes, it makes me smile. That's all. I think about his play on the field that makes me smile, not him, as a person.
No, you like him. It's okay. It's cool. Just admit
No,
it.
not at all.
But
Not at all.
but let me say this. I like
Okay.
the way Bobby. I like the way Bobby plays. I was a
Thank
fan
you.
of his when he played for he came to the same school as D'Angelo Williams.
Memphis.
Yes. And people don't realize he did the same things the person they want to draft this year. Everybody wanted to draft Antoine Winfield. Bobby McCain did the same things. He just didn't play safety. He played boundary corner and, rover, whatever you want to say in college. Pretty much the same position, punt return to kick return, did all the same things. He doesn't run like a 4-3, but still he did the same things. But my favorite player is Raekwon Miller.
Raekwon McMillan, huh? Please
I wasn't
tell
bad
us
for your
why.
boy last year.
I just feel as though Raekwon McMillan it takes, to me, just like ball games, it takes 3 years for you to get your body right, get your mental capacity ready for the game. That's all I care about. I like Raekwon. When he came out, I like Raekwon. And I still like Baker. I don't care what nobody say. Baker is a baller. You can say he's small all you want, but you got to remember, Zach Thomas was small. Know how Zach Thomas made all those plays? He had 2 fat people in front of him to make those plays.
Mm.
How Ray Lewis had made all those plays? He had 3 fat people in front of him making all the plays. Holding up the block so he can make all those plays. That's what people don't realize.
Mm.
If you keep the blockers off, if the blocks off the guards off of Baker, he'd be a baller. People don't look at stuff like that. They just, he's still weak. All that bull crap. It is what it is.
That's interesting because I like Raekwon, man. I think that this has to be his breakout season. And when I say breakout, it's not like he needs to take that much bigger of a leap. Just people need to know his name now.
But you can't take a breakout season because they don't the old NFL. If this was 2001, Raekwon would be a superstar. But since now this is a passing league, you need smaller, faster linebackers. It's not the same. And he's not. You understand? The person who can be a superstar in the defense is Jerome Baker.
Yeah.
Think about it.
You got to finish plays.
Yes, because think about it. Raekwon Miller was getting pressures and everything. He just wasn't finishing the plays. That's the only problem. That's to me. That's the same thing. You can say the same thing about Charles Harris. Charles Harris was getting pressures, but he wasn't finishing the plays. And that's facts. I don't care what nobody says.
Interesting. So we got a Bobby McCain. We have a Raekwon McMillan. We have a what did Havoc say again?
Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins. Yeah. Man, come on, Dwayne. Give us a name. How you doing, first of all?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. Things are coming into place, and it's going well here.
Talk to us, man. Tell us who your favorite player is and why.
My favorite, it is probably it's a tough choice, but I'm gonna go with Raekwon Davis because I have high expectations for him. I want him to do well. And if he does well, then the whole team is going to improve that much better. So I'm rooting for him. I want him to be he is my favorite right now. And I want him to have a more than adequate, meeting the standard. I want him to have an outstanding season. So that's why he's my favorite right now.
Interesting. So we all have, you mean to tell me 5 people on the screen and we all have different favorites. I'll give y'all mine at the end, but this is amazing to me. How spread out it is. That's a good sign for the team that it's spread out because usually it's not spread out like this. It's not, so we all usually cling to the one guy or something like that. This is really, really, really interesting to me, and I love it, y'all. Now, everybody who's backstage, please be patient. And those who are trying to get backstage, because I keep getting a notification saying backstage is full, you can't accept anymore. Please bear with me. As I take people in and out, I'll try to get you in. But if not, understand that if conversations get good and they get to going, it is what it is. Because we still got to get on Finsanity in this Dak versus Tannehill. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Marcus, man, talk to us. First off, how you doing, homie?
Doing good. No jacket today because it is hot, like ridiculously hot. But
I love the
still
shirt,
doing
though,
good.
Man.
Thanks.
Love the shirt. So talk to us, man. Who's your favorite Dolphin and why?
Okay, so I got to admit, a lot of people probably think I hate Tua. I don't hate Tua.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Tua. If I'm honest, I got to give Tua my runner-up, though, because it's a little bit basic, but I like Parker. I like his story. I like what he did. I like the way he's turned his entire career around when given the opportunity. Right? You see a lot of guys in the NFL, a lot of top draft picks, a lot of really promising people. They get their shot and then do nothing with it, right? And then they get a second chance and they do nothing with it, and then they just leave the league a bust, right? But Parker went in there and said, you know what? I've had a bad few years, right? People think I'm a bust. I'm going to prove them wrong. And he went out there and did it. And that's the part I really love. I love his attitude change. I love the way he carries himself now. And I love the fact that he's going out there, like a star receiver, and he's putting his name on the map, right? He's going out there to say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm the number one, and you're going to have to respect that. And that's something I really like. I really like the turnaround. I really like the attitude, the change and everything about that. Just like it's got to be Parker for me. There's a lot of people on the team who are a lot like that. People who didn't get a shot at first, but made the most of their opportunity. And that's the thing I love about this team, because there's so many guys out there. Like I love Nick Needham, because he went out there. He was awful, and he got better, and he proved himself. Now, he didn't prove himself the way Parker did, right? Parker proved himself to an incredible degree, right? And I think I've talked about this before. But he had his last 7 games, if you include like the Steelers game, where he wasn't all that great in the Steelers game, right? But his last 7 games, taking out the one he got injured, or his last 8 games, taking out the one he got injured. So 7 games, he averaged 125 yards or 127 yards a game. So I love that. I love that he went in there. He said, I'm not going to be a bust. This coaching staff gave me a chance. They gave me an extension, and I'm going to prove them right. And that's what I love about Parker.
TD.
So you love the adversity story, dealing with
I love it.
Coach that tried to hold him back.
I
like that. I'm with that. It's not my favorite player, but I'm with that. I like that, man.
TD, I bet you your favorite player is Kalen Ballage.
Listen, those are the only one to pick offensive players, so that's very interesting.
Hey, Dwayne got jokes, don't he?
Leave my boy Dwayne alone.
No, my favorite player is not Caleb Ballage. Should I go ahead and talk about it now for Insanity?
Nope, make him wait.
This is crazy to me. Like, how do you not know who my favorite player is?
We know.
I knew it. I knew it off the rip.
Like, I'm talking about everybody in the comment section throwing all these names. How do y'all not know who my favorite player is? It should be obvious. It should be obvious, man. Think about it. When you're in high school and you like the girl, you were. Let me stop. I'll stop. I'll give it away if I say that.
Yeah.
You didn't say I liked you. You were young and immature, so you actually messed with him all the time. So
Adrian Gray said we know it's X.
It's X. Y'all think it's Xavier Howard?
It could be. Who knows?
You think my favorite player Xavier Howard?
It makes sense.
It ain't no X. It'll never. I ain't gonna say it'll never be X, but it sure ain't no Xavier Howard.
Is it Josh Rosen?
I got ideas.
Right,
I got ideas.
Finsanity said I need to wait, so I'll wait, man. Y'all talk Xavier Howard. Y'all better stop losing y'all mind, Xavier Howard.
Oh,
Man,
gosh.
so let's have a quick break from the favorite players. We'll get back into it whenever I bring some more people in. But I know this isn't so much Dolphin related, but I just want to ask some of y'all opinion because y'all are football fans, right?
Mhm.
Y'all watch
right.
other teams other than the Dolphins, right?
yeah.
Who was the better quarterback last year? Ryan Tannehill or Dak Prescott?
Tannehill.
Y'all ain't all gotta answer at once. This should be easy.
You have to say Tannehill. 'Cause
Tannehill.
he
It
was
was
in the AFC
clearly
Championship
Tannehill.
game.
Oh my
Hold on, Havoc. What you
No.
said? Can you say that a little louder?
You have to say Tannehill made it all the way to the AFC Championship game.
It ain't even got nothing to do with that. Who played the better football last year?
Tannehill did what he
If you
needed to
ask
do in the
me,
playoffs.
Tatannehill ain't do nothing in the playoffs.
He did. He
balled
did.
out in the regular season.
He did what he needed to
So-
do in the playoffs. He didn't blow it, which is something a lot of quarterbacks can't do in the playoffs.
I'll say for Tannehill, that like he had a great run game to lean on, but so did Prescott when he was popping off. Right? Both of them were in very good situations to make use of their talent. And I gotta say, Tannehill. Now, yeah, you got to give Tannehill the experience factor. Right? He's played in the league for longer than Prescott, but he made the most of his opportunity. Right? You gave Prescott probably the best offensive line in football, and he performed not as well as Tannehill did. Right? And I dare you to find me someone who says that the Titans' offensive line was better than the Cowboys' offensive line.
You see what I'm talking about, Finsanity?
And Derrick Henry versus
the Tannehill hater has arrived, Finsanity. I told you, it's all in her family. The Tannehill.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, let me tell you something
I
about
love you,
this
Dad.
man, Finsanity. He know when we talking about Tannehill because he always find his comment or way to get his comment in to discredit Tannehill every time. You ain't fooling nobody, C707. We know it's all in the family.
Listen.
Finsanity don't want to admit y'all that right. Had a better season than that
First
guy.
of all, that's not what you said earlier. You said who was
What
the
I
better
say?
quarter.
Yes,
No.
he did.
Don't change your narrative. You didn't say who had the better season last year. You said who was the better quarterback.
Boom!
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Oh!
Can I say something
Quint,
real
yes.
quick? Can I say something real quick?
Yes, Quint. This is
I was
your
talking
time.
to I was talking to a fellow football fan. He happens to be a Cowboys fan, and he said Dak had a better team since he's been in the league since Tannehill ever had his
No
whole
one's going to debate
career.
that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you drop Tannehill in Dallas Cowboys situation,
Mhm.
they will be in the playoffs. I'm sorry,
And they would win some playoff games.
they will win more games. And for a
That
fact,
cat-
and
that-
for a fact,
And for a
when
fact, 'cause
Tannehill played for the Dolphins, he never had a running game, and he still put
he
up
never had a
numbers.
running game. Watch
Yeah,
how
but
you
he had
watch how you word the
running
statements.
game
He
one-
never had a running game.
one
Watch how you
season.
word the
One
statements.
season.
Quint.
Wildcat don't count.
Quint.
One season.
Quint.
One season.
But watch. But
Well,
listen.
Lamar
If you go,
Lamar
listen.
ran
If you
for
going to
1,000
say
yards
things
one
on here, Quint, say
2
them
years,
correctly,
2 years,
okay?
for 2 years. He had a running
Let's
game
say
2
them
years out
correctly.
of 7 years. He was been in the
Quit.
league.
Wildcat don't count. He ain't
I
under.
know that. The Wildcat don't count. People love. I'm gonna say this. People love to say Chad Pennington was the second best quarterback to Dan Marino. He depended on the Wildcat. Come on now.
Tannehill was the second best since Marino.
Thank
Y'all better
you.
stop.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Nah, Jay Fiedler was better than
No, he
Tannehill.
wasn't. I'm sorry.
How long
Jay
did Jay
Fiedler was
Fiedler
better.
last?
Don't do
How
that.
Jay
long did
Fiedler was
Don't
better
do
than
that.
Tannehill.
Don't do
How
that.
long did Jay
Don't do
Fiedler
that.
last?
If you
Don't-
drop Tannehill
don't do
in
that.
same situation,
No,
we will be a better team.
Tannehill.
Fiedler?
Tannehill underperformed every
Well,
year.
what team? What
Every
team
year.
did Tannehill have?
Fiedler?
That's what
Okay.
kills me with the Dolphins.
Fiedler was
We
better.
don't look at the whole team.
Come on.
We look at a
Come on,
quarterback.
man.
and
Fiedler
think
was
the quarterback
better.
is going to fix
Look
something.
Man,
what was around the
Fiedler-
two.
Come on, man. Fiedler was a tall Doug Flutie. Let's keep it a buck. Fiedler was a tall Doug
Yes,
Flutie.
thank you. Thank you.
You know, like Fiedler was okay.
Finish the ball
Tannehill,
game.
And
Fiedler
but that was
is better
better
than
than
Tannehill.
but that was better than Tannehill.
No, he
No.
wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Hey,
No, he
Dwayne
wasn't.
got a new
you.
filter on his
I
camera,
respect
and he
your
lost his
No.
mind.
I respect your
No,
opinion,
no, I
man.
haven't lost my mind. I'm
y'all
telling
I
you,
respect your
crazy.
opinion.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
I don't know
Tannehill
what game you
disappointed
were
me
watching, 'cause
so many
I'm sorry.
times. There's
okay.
no way I'm putting him next to Marino. There's no.
Who?
I'm not even putting him next to Don Strock, let alone anybody else.
Come on, say, how can you
Okay.
say this
Yeah,
about
where did
we
Dwayne
never
go?
had a team?
Where did Dwayne go?
We never had a team.
Where's
We
Dwayne?
never
Who
had
are
a
you,
team.
sir? Who are you?
We
Go
never had a
Dolphins,
team.
go Dolphins, go Dolphins.
He doesn't
But
even say
Y'all
our
like you
name. That ain't
Man.
Dwayne, y'all.
Who is
I
this
know,
smooth
man.
talking
I don't know.
impersonator?
okay, I'm trying to tell y'all at the Tannehill always disappointed. Never came
But how
through.
can you say that? How can you say that?
How can
And
I
you
say
never,
that?
you never had
Because
a team.
because
We
guess
never
what?
had a team.
The one
In
time,
5 years
the one
he was here, we never had a team. Come on now, be honest.
yes
with
they
yourself.
did. They had
No, we
offensive linemen,
Come
they had
on now.
running
Y'all
backs,
make
they had
everything for
defense,
this man.
but guess what? He never came through. He never held up
Oh
his
my
end of the
God.
bargain. He never
That's a
held up
lie.
his end of the
That-
bargain.
That's a lie.
At the
It's plenty
very
times that they brought us
least,
back in games.
at the
We
very
lost the
least,
game for us.
Listen,
Fiedler held
You
up
know
his
how many
end of the
times Tannehill
bargain.
brought us back in the game? The defense lost the game for us when they got the ball back instead of
you know how
stopping
many times
the
he's had
other
horrible
offense. They
QBRs
gave
for the
up a
whole
touchdown.
season? Like
Because of trash O-line getting them sacked every
Come
day.
on, man. It's like people don't see
every
the other
season in the book.
aspects of the game. You get receivers who can't run no other routes but a deep route. Oh, he supposed to be
I'm
the
sorry.
man. Mike
I'm
Wallace
sorry. He had to
Mike
work
Wallace was
3,
one-trick
4,
pony.
5, 6 years to work on his deep ball. I'm sorry. But yet,
No, he
the
took
same
2
Cowboys
years to work on
fans,
his deep
but
ball.
that
Stop that,
same
Fitzpatrick.
Cowboys
He
fans
was throwing a
probably
good
would
deep
not
ball
have
by
wanted
year
to
three.
Hardline,
take
Devon
Tannehill as a
Charles
rookie.
Clay
When you
wasn't had
take
no
Dak as a
trouble
rookie
catching
and
the
you
deep
ask
pass.
who you want, ain't nobody saying Tannehill.
Brian
Tannehill
Hartline.
Why are y'all
Brian
ignoring the
Hartline.
fact that everybody you're comparing him to had a better surrounding
We had a
cast?
team, a
CB, if
better
that's what
team.
you want to argue, then okay. But if
It's
you want to
fact.
talk about who's the better quarterback by the numbers, let's talk about it.
If you go by the numbers, Tannehill has better
How the
numbers
numbers
than Dak.
Tannehill in back up?
Okay,
Come on now.
go ahead.
That's fact.
List them. List
Don't
them.
put up the first 4
Listen.
years.
If you put up
This
the first 4
man
years,
was in
Tannehill
conversations
has
with
more numbers,
Peyton
better
Manning.
numbers than Dak.
Man, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on now, dude.
No, if you
Come
go
on
look
now.
at
Y'all
if you go look
If you
at
go
the
by
stats
the numbers,
for
he
your
has
first
Go ahead,
4
go
better
by it.
years,
quarterback.
Hey
some
TD,
of
I'll
y'all
be
would
right
be
back.
shocked. Oh, you
I'll be
good,
right
bro?
back.
Some of y'all would be shocked at Tannehill's stats for the first 4 years. And then he put those stats up while getting sacked that much. That's crazy, man.
80 times a season.
Listen,
Come
let's
on
bring
now,
some
dude.
fresh blood in here.
Okay, since y'all know the numbers,
fresh blood in.
how many winning seasons has Tannehill had? Please tell me. Since y'all know Tannehill's numbers, how many winning seasons has he
If he
had?
didn't get hurt, he would have played in the playoffs. To be honest with you.
That's not what I asked you. I said how many winning seasons?
How many winning coaches? How many winning coaches has the Dolphins had?
Oh my! How many winning seasons?
How many
has Tannehill had? Don't try to change the narrative. I asked you a question, Quint. How many winning seasons has he had?
Would have never have been
What?
hurt. Then
If
I think
Oh my God! Y'all, this is all assumptions. This is all assumptions you guys are giving.
Everything on
If Tannehill wasn't
you guys
hurt,
don't see
he
the whole
was
totality
in
of
the
the
game.
team.
An assumption.
Brian Gonzalez, man. What's up, homie?
What's up, Brian?
Don't do that. Don't say that Tannehill was that much better. That if you put Tannehill in, we're winning that game, Quint. Don't do that. How many winning seasons has Tannehill had? I can answer it for you. How many winning seasons has he had?
Two. Two.
Do you understand? Do you understand that in his winning seasons, the one that he's won had a record above 800? He's never played a complete season in those 2 years.
Okay.
So talk to me. Like Dak
go back to
in 4 years. That's 75%. Listen, Dak has never been underneath 500. Tannehill has been underneath 500 3 times.
No, Fitzpatrick. What was Tannehill's record?
3 500 seasons.
What was Tannehill's record?
But y'all want to talk to me about this dude.
Come
what
on.
do you say? I'm
But
sorry.
you try to blame it on one
What was
person.
Tannehill's record in those seasons?
And what season?
I'll be right back.
Season.
Come on now.
When he was on the field.
Huh?
When he was on the field, what was his record in those 2 winning seasons when he was on the field?
Oh my gosh. I think one was like
8-3.
8-5.
8-3.
I think one was like 8-5, 7-3.
8-3.
What are you counting? Are you talking regular season?
That's
I
the
have
only
it
thing
here.
he played. You pointed that out. He the one that led the team to the playoffs, and the other quarterback finished it off.
Listen.
Tannehill showed you what he was last year. With the team around him, and
he was 8-5, like
year.
I said, and 7-3. Like I said, 8-5, 7-3. Okay.
Listen, the Dolphins fans talking about quarterbacks since Marino, it's always going to be a messy conversation.
No,
yeah, of course it is. Come on, look at what we have been subjected to. Cleo Lemon, Ray Lucas, Joey Harrington, Brady Quinn. We done seen the bottom of the barrel, and in reality, come on, man, Pat White. In terms of decent quarterbacks who've put in like a consistent season of work, you got Fiedler, you got the Pennington season, and you got Tannehill. Now, neither three of these people, if you're talking about the big prize, none of them did anything for us. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. That's just what the record is. Maybe Tannehill could have done something in the playoffs, but he got injured, so we'll never know. So, I think, Tannehill was a good quarterback for us. He just wasn't the guy that's going to carry you to the promised land if you don't have the pieces around him. Now, Fiedler, he had some pieces around him, and he couldn't make that happen. So, that's another discussion for another day. But, if I had to make a choice, like if you put Fiedler on the Tannehill teams versus, put Tannehill on the Fiedler teams, I think the early 2000 Dolphins they do something. They do something with Tannehill at quarterback as opposed to Jay Fiedler.
That's speculation.
That's all we're doing here. All we're doing is speculating here.
All I know is that Tannehill's QBRs sound like this. Okay, 2012, 48.4. 2013, 49.3. 2014, 9.3. 2015. 46.3. Listen, I'm talking about numbers. You can talk about all that.
That factors in the QBR. You threw QBR out there.
TD. But you glorify this guy. But listen, you glorify this guy. I don't
glorify him. I don't glorify him. I just say that he wasn't what y'all making him seem to be.
Stats. Yeah. I don't want to be on the Tannehill thing too long, okay? 2016, 49.4. 2016, 31.0. Oh my gosh. No, that man did not put up a 31.0 QBR, and we want to talk. We ain't gonna go there. In 2019, last year, he had 62.2, which was by far his best by only like 3 points, 2.9 points. But okay, I'm gonna let y'all be great on that one. I'm gonna let y'all live. As far as PFF has Dak ranked 11th, and Tannehill's ranked 17th. So obviously they feel like Dak's a better quarterback. I don't know.
Last year.
Listen, going into this season right now, their rankings right now, Dak is going in as the 11th best quarterback.
Okay.
Tannehill 17th. There's nothing wrong with that.
What was the rank last year? What was the good rank going into the season last year? What, Dak was 5 and Tannehill was 850? But what did the season end up being? Why don't you go look at the quarterback ranks from last year?
Listen, it's not my fault that he couldn't win the starting job over Marcus Mariota. That's not my fault. That's not my fault.
Was given the job.
Listen. Well, you know what? Listen,
I'm gonna say this. Everybody on the team knew that. Everybody on the team knew that. Everybody, I'm gonna say, I watch and I listen to the Titans podcast.
Of course, you did.
The dude, I watch everybody's. I watch every team's podcast. I listen to everybody. I love football. I don't just watch the Dolphins. I love football, and they knew Tannehill was better than Mariota. That Mariota won the job because he was the longer tenure, and the owner wanted Mariota to win. Just like how we picked Tua this year. That's the reason why they picked Tua, because the owner wanted Tua. I'm just being honest. Tua's gonna play the first game of the season. I know that, and he might get hurt.
Choice.
And I don't want it to happen, but it's facts. He gonna play the first game of the season. But go.
Listen. All I know is what
Ball
the
head,
numbers
ball
are,
game.
all
Give
the
us
numbers
some
are telling me
clarity, ball game.
is that
Give us some clarity,
nah,
ball game.
nah.
Clarity to what? Everybody's entitled to their opinion, you know.
Yeah,
Dak
but
has
it's
2
like
Pro
I think-
Bowls. Tannehill has 1. I mean, like I don't know how much.
I think if you take into consideration, and we're comparing, and this comparison between Dak Prescott and Ryan Tannehill, there's a lot of similarities between the two gentlemen in terms of their athletic ability and their ability to extend plays on the field and things of that nature. But if we're really going to be honest, you have to look at the entire makeup of the teams that they actually came into. And Dak Prescott was, without a shadow of a doubt, presented with a way better supporting cast than Tannehill ever had. So to that part of the equation alone, one could hypothesize that had they been swapped in roles, Tannehill may have very well had a better career. He could have been a better quarterback overall. We would have seen a completely different guy. But because of the fact that the guy was, unfortunately, the most sacked quarterback in his the first 4 seasons as a starting quarterback, that in itself puts a dark cloud over the situation for Tannehill. But who Ryan Tannehill has become now, as opposed to what most people thought would have been his future, is a credit to the fact that he stayed resilient. He got smart, and he developed into being the quarterback that most people say can be some guy that can actually help a team win some games and make an organization better. You got to remember his struggle, though, right? His challenge was going from being a wide receiver to a quarterback. Now, he played quarterback in high school, so it wasn't a complete jump for him, but it was indeed a transition to go from being a wide receiver to an NFL quarterback with a team that had, again, a very porous offensive line and couldn't protect themselves if they had 2 9mm and an M16 standing in front of a bank with their ATM card. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to love Tannehill. You don't have to like Tannehill, but you have to take into consideration what the situation was that the man had to deal with. And under those situations, I don't know many quarterbacks. I don't know many that could have lasted as long as he lasted and did what he did behind those circumstances.
That's an assumption.
True.
Well, yeah. Well,
That's an assumption.
We're
trying to stick to facts here.
I think I've been watching this game a lot longer than you actually been breathing, and I haven't.
Probably. But we're trying to stick to facts. We're trying to stick to facts, not assumptions.
Listen, besides Andrew Luck, no quarterback that I know in the modern era took more of a beating than Ryan Tannehill.
You got David Carr that one season.
David season.
Carr.
I'm talking about one season. Tannehill didn't do it that for almost his entire time in Miami, bro.
That's the only argument.
No, it's not an argument.
That's the only thing that you guys tried to stand on.
That's a big reason.
No, that's a huge factor, because then that takes into consideration.
Isn't he athletic? Isn't he a part of it? Doesn't he know how to evade things? Doesn't he know how to move?
Let me ask you a question.
One thing, hold up, because the one thing I will never ever get out of my mind is seeing Tannehill literally just go down before even getting touched.
What you want him to do?
He's the quarterback. You don't want him to get touched.
That's a statement. That's a statement from someone that has never
outside the pocket, and you won't even throw the ball away.
That's a statement.
So many times we're like, Tannehill, just throw the ball away. Just throw the ball away. And what does he do? Oh, take a sack. Well, of course he's going to be one of the most sacked if he's always taking them.
Hey, listen to this.
It's like he wrote this narrative for himself. You know what? I'd rather be the most sacked so that these 31.0s and 29.4s can be validated.
I never ever thought that I would ever have to go there with you on this, but there's a 3-part process to a quarterback actually receiving the ball from the center, right? The ball is hiked. He take his drops. He make his reads, and then he throws the pass, right? You want to do the throw the pass away when as soon as he gets to the top of his drop, he has two guys. Listen, he got two guys coming out the edge to Malachi crunch him. Are you serious?
Wasn't he the same one that they made Marino come out of retirement for so that they could coach him up?
Let's take this in context.
You got to see it and you throw it.
Come on, sis.
Ball game.
You know me not tell a quarterback to see it and throw it.
Ball
game. Bring Marino out of retirement just to talk to this man and teach him how to be a quarterback. That's how bad he was. Don't do this.
They need to get Richmond Webb out of retirement to talk to the offensive line because I mean he got battered. He got battered.
Listen, all I'm talking about is like this. Even when they rank the tiers, because I don't do this, I just looked up facts. Dak is ranked as a tier 2 quarterback. Tannehill's ranked as a tier 4. So like, and that was even that was coming off of what he did last year.
He's a tier 2 quarterback.
That's coming off of what he did last year. So like, why? I don't know why I'm having this discussion with y'all, because these aren't me. These are people who are paid to do this, saying these things. These are not my words. That's why I said, please keep your emotions out of it. If you want to talk about his situation, I said that's not debatable. But if you ask me who's the better quarterback, well, for some odd reason, all the analysts and all the people who are paid handsomely to do this stuff seem to think that Dak is the better quarterback. I'm not saying this. I mean, I believe it, but at least everything y'all want to say is, oh, well, Tannehill was the most sacked quarterback. Okay, we can't argue that. That's a fact. But you guys are so glorifying what he did last year. He played well last year. Played so well. You guys were loving it, eating it up. But they still rank him as a tier 4 quarterback after doing that. So
they don't rank him as a tier 4 quarterback. What are you talking about?
CBS Sports ranked him as a tier 4 quarterback and ranked Dak as a tier 2.
That's old.
Do I need to send links?
He's a tier 2 quarterback.
Huh?
The new one is he's a tier 2. He's a franchise quarterback now.
First of all, franchise is tier 1.
No, superstar is a tier 1.
Franchise quarterback.
Superstar. It's only 3 of the superstar. It's Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes.
Quint, what's your email? I will send you this link right now.
From what you call
I will send you the link. I will send you the link where it has it.
Finsanity. That's the sad part. If you're gonna sit there and read anything that has him in the last tier right now after last year, and you're gonna give that credibility, come on.
I am, because listen, they saw what Tannehill did when he was asked to carry the team against the Chiefs.
What do you mean? So you just ignoring? So hold on, you just ignoring the regular season. So Lamar Jackson,
the regular season. Season.
So what about when he carried the team versus the Chiefs in the regular season, down by 14 in the fourth quarter, and he came back and got the W, threw 3 touchdowns in a row with the game-winning drive?
Man, this Jason, listen, this article, I see the article you're talking about. Hey, this article is written by a guy that hated Tannehill.
That doubled that. Both played 3 games. That doubled that. Like, come
Insanity. How you gonna sit there and give that article
was written by Jason LaCanfora, and he hated Tannehill. So I don't think nothing he said.
And every situation, if you guys want to talk about Tannehill in the playoffs, he played well. He did what they asked him to.
He played better in the regular season.
See that? So now you want to hold it only to the regular season. Well,
no. I'm not, because I'm trying to understand if that's the logic. Then why is Lamar Jackson? What tier they got him in?
I didn't look that part up because I was focused on Dak and Tannehill. Now you're trying to expand this. Because you don't like what was written. And that's the thing.
They got Lamar. They got Lamar as a bona fide franchise quarterback.
Well, that's probably because Baltimore Ravens see him as their franchise quarterback, and the Tennessee Titans don't see Tannehill as their franchise quarterback. I don't know. Maybe they should have talked to him. I don't know.
Engraven just came in the building and said, I came in at the perfect time. I wonder what Engraven would rank Tannehill. What tier would you put Tannehill in from a 1 through 4? This should be interesting. But listen, we haven't heard from Brian Gonzalez yet. What's up, homie? I don't know if he has a delay or something because he keeps freezing on us. Yeah, he freezing. I don't even know if he can hear us.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, just to talk a little bit about the Dak Tannehill thing. Dak came into the league with about 3 all-pro caliber offensive linemen.
Did he drop the link?
Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, I forget Travis Frederick, who got the disease last year. Yeah. So, it's one of those things where we've never seen Dak behind the O-line that struggled. Now, there are some difficulties last season because, of course, Tyron Smith, the past year and a half, Tyron Smith hasn't been right. And they struggled a little bit.
They actually did have it. It was, I believe, his second year in the league after he had surprised everybody. 2 offensive linemen had gotten hurt, and there was some issue that Zeke had. And that's because I lived in Dallas at the time.
It was Frederick, right? And Tyron Smith.
Yes, they both got hurt. Dak looked trash. They were losing games. And I'm in the barbershop and all the Dallas fan base, oh, Dak ain't the answer. Dak ain't the answer. 3 weeks later, the 2 linemen come back and Zeke come back. They get back to winning, and all of a sudden, he's back to the answer again. He was back to being the answer again. The whole fan base realized they were writing him off, saying he ain't the answer.
Hey, you got 3 all-pro linemen in front of you. There's a lot of quarterbacks that look real good. I'm
not going to penalize a quarterback for coming into a great situation but you take it away from the one that did have the same situation. I didn't take anything away from him. All I did was TD said Dak Prescott was a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. And I said, come with nothing but numbers and facts, not your semantics, not all of that. I did not argue about y'all about the sacks. I did not argue about y'all about the team that they were on, but with the numbers, even what when Tannehill was with us, what was his best season? What year? What year was his best season?
2017.
He didn't play 2017. He was injured.
Well, 2016, whenever it was.
2016. You know what his QBR was in 2016, and that's what we all say was his best year.
What was it?
31.0. That was that 31.0.
QBR was terrible.
So QBR is the end all be.
I'm not saying QBR is the end all be, but for us to say that was his best season and his QBR was 31, like come on now.
Best season in terms of yardage and touchdowns, or best season just overall because of
best season. Best season.
The year he threw 4,000
his best season was 2015 because he had 4,208 yards.
QBR 46.3.
Well, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Yeah. Or you can go back to 2014. He threw another 4,000-yard season. I mean,
which one?
2014. He had another 14.
59.3. He's starting to get up there in Dak's range.
So,
look, guys,
still running for his life.
Hi, guys. Listen. Okay.
That's all y'all gonna say.
Dak Prescott is a tier 2 quarterback. You're gonna pay him tier 1 money.
You're gonna basically had a better team.
Yeah, you gotta basically hurt yourself.
If you switch Tannehill and Dak and put Dak on the Dolphins with the sorry offensive line, Dak will not be who he is.
Well, first of all, Dak knew how to complete a deep ball, and Tannehill didn't. So we didn't get all of our usage out of Kenny Stills and Mike Wallace like that. Like, wait. So
you don't get no deep ball off when you're running for your life.
That's what you don't understand.
Were we not talking about Tannehill's inefficiencies at throwing the deep ball and throwing the deep pass and how he's gotten better at it?
I'm gonna say,
had that not been a narrative around Tannehill? Let's not act like I'm throwing out things that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was a narrative. Exactly. It was a narrative,
and it was true.
You're correct. It was true. Tannehill struggled. Hold on. Tannehill did struggle early on, the first 2 years throwing the deep ball. But you know what? What I cannot sit here and ignore is if a player's supposed to improve in an area, it's going to take even twice as long to improve when you got a small sample size of it because you're always getting hit on your behind. If he had a line to protect him, he could have developed that part of his game a year sooner, if you ask me.
So y'all only argument is the reason why Tannehill is better than Dak is because he didn't have the Cowboys team. So that's your only argument.
No, that's not my argument.
That's what I keep saying.
No, that's not my argument, Finstanity. My argument, I've seen both quarterbacks in both situations. I've seen Tannehill in a trash situation, still put up numbers, just couldn't win games. And I've seen Dak in a trash situation, didn't put up numbers and didn't win games. It's just that Dak's was only for about a 6-week stint, which he was trash in those 6 weeks. And Tannehill had to deal with it for over 5 years out of his 7 in Miami. That's what I'm comparing it off of. I got to see both of them in a similar. So then when I seen Tannehill, because who had the better team last year as far as on paper? Who had the better team, Dallas or Tennessee?
Oh, Cowboys.
Cowboys. So I saw Tannehill finally get a good team around him, have better was better than Dak Prescott with a better roster around him. So that's what I'm comparing here. Good roster for both of them, Tannehill's better. Bad roster for both of them, Tannehill's better.
His QBR last year was 52.2 and Dak was 70.2. Dak was 4th in QBR and Tannehill was 9th.
So, okay, you're talking about QBR, Finsanity. That ain't the only stat.
Okay,
don't look at next gen.
Would you like to talk about yards? Total
don't
yards?
Look at the next gen stats. Don't look at the next gen stats. Tannehill's going to dominate it left and right.
Cheating.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why Dak Prescott had more. Let me tell you why Dak Prescott had better QBR. Because Dak Prescott threw more touchdowns. It's that simple.
That's what you want the quarterback to do, right?
Because Derrick Henry was running touchdowns. They were balanced in Tennessee. They were balanced in Tennessee. They were balanced.
Okay.
They were balanced in Tennessee.
Okay. Go to the games where Tannehill threw more than Henry ran and they lost. Those are the ones he lost.
That's not true. No, I keep on bringing up the Chiefs games to you.
That's not true.
Cheating.
That's not true.
Cheating.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
When Tannehill was asked to throw more than 20 plus times, they were working.
They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs. And it's another 2 other games.
They beat the Chiefs. That was a close game. What did they do in the playoffs against the Chiefs? Oh, they blew a lead. I'm sorry.
No, but
okay, you want to keep going. Congratulations for beating a team in the regular season. When it mattered, hold up, Quint. When it mattered, and they were playing them again, what did the Chiefs do to them?
They lost the game.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let her talk because let her talk because I want to go ahead and give her the stats from last year when she's done, so I can go ahead and end all of this.
Go ahead, get
ready? You ready? Okay. Who you think had the better completion percentage? Ryan Tannehill, 70.3 completion percentage. Dak Prescott, 65.1.
Threw way less. Go ahead.
What do you mean?
TD, he threw way less. He threw less passes.
He threw less passes because he played 6 less games.
Percentages work, TD.
Yeah. He played 6 less games. No. Finsanity, if you understand. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That is so wrong. You misleading. Because if you know percentages, it don't matter how many you threw. A percent is a raw number. It don't matter.
Now it's a raw number?
Percentage always been wrong.
No. The same person who said so was 3 for 3, and they're 100%. Who had a better game than the person who threw?
Both of them have over 250 attempts. Both of them have over 250 attempts.
Which is what they use.
You making it seem like one of them got 10 and one of them got 1. No, that ain't what's happening.
Yeah, 286.
Ryan Tannehill, 70.3. Dak Prescott, 65.1. Yards per attempt. Ryan Tannehill, 9.6. Dak, 8.2.
Yep.
Intercept, huh?
I'm with you.
Interception ratio, virtually similar. Tannehill beats him by 0.8. From a ratio standpoint, since they played uneven games, I can't use the actual number because it has to be off of a ratio since they didn't play the same amount of games. 0.8 by Tannehill on a ratio.
Okay.
So come on.
So Dak threw the ball almost 100 more times. 100 more times.
No, more than that.
Listen,
Dak threw the ball almost 2 times more. Almost. He threw it almost 2 times more.
I'm sorry. Yeah. He had 596. Okay, I'm with you.
And Tannehill had 286.
So you want to take one season and say because of one season,
the only one that you compare, hold on. The only one you can compare, where they both have a good team around them. I want to even the playing field, Finsanity. You want to use stats for Tannehill when he got trash around him. So the only season we got where they both got good team around them is this year, last year.
Okay.
That's the only fair comparison. So
how when you bring up those, when he played less games,
and obviously, still look, he had a team around him. It's a large sample size. I can see him Tannehill play 5 games.
More than what they asked Ryan Tannehill to do.
I can see him Tannehill play 5 games.
They asked Dak Prescott to throw more and do more, way more than they asked Tannehill to do. That ball
didn't do it better than Tannehill.
Don't do that.
Didn't do it better than Tannehill. He didn't do it better than Tannehill.
Oh my gosh, GD.
By the way, you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Larry.
Okay. But I'm with you on that, TD. If that makes you feel better,
that's it. That's the only thing I'm arguing here is when you finally compare the two quarterbacks in a good situation, one of them looked better than the other.
And
that's all I'm saying here.
Okay,
all right, so let him play it out
guys.
This year will be a good year.
Let me be the peacemaker here. First of all, neither one of you should be quoting stats. What I tell you about stats, they're for losers. Okay.
Hey, I agree with that. The only reason I brought him up because she asked for him. She said, "Bring this up."
Also, I enjoy your fighting back and forth. You know, you two love.
Larry can't hear you.
Let's go.
Don't. Hey, Tannehill and Dak, the way I view them is they're different sides of the same coin, okay?
Yep.
You're arguing for a yin and yang. And frankly, if you're going to do that, I'd rather do it talking about Marino and Montana. I don't give a rat's behind about Tannehill anymore, okay? And I don't give a rat's ass about there. So, guys, you know, what can I tell you? By the way,
this is crazy.
Tua, one of the guys made a comment a while back ago, and I'm not going to argue with it. He said Tua's the better quarterback. He hasn't even thrown a pass yet.
Listen, I can't say who's going to be the better quarterback until he does throw a pass. But I think this is a good time for me to actually tell everybody who my favorite player is on the Miami Dolphins.
No, let me guess. Tua.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Tua Tagovailoa. My favorite player on the Miami Dolphins is Tua Tagovailoa. At the end of the day, what y'all have to realize is I criticize him more than anybody, obviously.
That's why.
Because I want this kid to be great in this league. I don't want to sit here and have another Tannehill for 7 years. I don't want to have a Tannehill for 7 years. I know about Tannehill's deficiencies in the areas that he wasn't great at. And if he could have fixed those areas, he could have been an even better quarterback. But at the same token, Tua Tagovailoa has all those intangibles that Tannehill did not come into this league with. He has that package. I watched Tua's game and I point out the flaws that he does have, such as reading defenses, such as actually decision making, whether that's reading the defense or throwing the ball away and not putting himself at risk to take unnecessary hits that can cause him to get hurt. Those are the two things that I say that Tua Tagovailoa needs to fix. But I actually, and it's not just a thing of, oh, I love Tua, I love him. I love Tua because he is now the face of this franchise. Whether anybody likes it or not, he's the face of the franchise. If we're gonna win a Super Bowl in the next few years, he has to be the one to do it. He has to be the one to do it. Because they invested so much in him at the 5th overall pick and skipped up on certain players who I would have even taken before him at that point. He has to be the one that do it, and I can't do anything but get behind that. I know I criticize him a lot, but I want to see him succeed. I want to see him be a great Miami Dolphin. I want his name to be rivaled with Dan Marino. But let me make something clear. I will criticize his play until that happens. TD, if he's your favorite, somebody, because I had a conversation with somebody about this today too. Well, if he's your favorite player, then why don't you buy a jersey? Do y'all know that I didn't buy a jersey of Tannehill's to year 6? Because you need to earn that, man. You have to earn the right of being our franchise quarterback and earning us being proud of it. You're my favorite player, just like Tannehill was my favorite player, but you also have to earn that level of benefit of the doubt. And Tua Tagovailoa has yet to earn that, but at the same token, I rides with him. And I'm going to continue to criticize his game because I need those small flaws to disappear. I need those flaws that he has because they're going to be major. They're going to be major flaws when it comes to the playoffs. I don't want no Lamar Jackson situation. I don't want you to be good all regular season, then they game plan for your weakness and they eat you up in the playoffs. And that's what he showed in college against the best teams in college. Against the best teams in college football, Tua Tagovailoa made his biggest mistakes. What you said, ball game?
Yeah, against the best, the better competition in college, he folded.
He folded, and that's just the truth. People can call it a hater all they want. He did not, and he made his most mistakes, picks and fumbles without people even touching them, honestly. But those things got to be fixed, man. And that is my favorite Miami Dolphin, hands down, Tua Tagovailoa. And I'm not trolling. I am not trolling y'all right now. That's the truth. But that ain't going to stop me from criticizing his game. So understand that. You got to be critical if we're going to get past this purgatory, this mediocrity that we've been dealing with for so long.
Set the goal high. Set the goal high. That's
some of y'all are arguing with me that I should have been more critical of Tannehill, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let's get this off on the right foot and make sure that we recognize the flaws of our franchise future quarterback and talk about them and see it, and you'll get to appreciate his growth. You'll get to appreciate where he came from. That's my favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
End of discussion. Period. And Tannehill's still better than Dak. So it is what it is. Shout out to JD with the donation.
She ain't gonna let you bait her in with that.
JD said, Dolphins fans be weirdos, put the blame on Tannehill, but forget the consistently trash defense, O-line, and coaches. JD, are you a Dolphins fan? Are you a Dolphins fan? Because he said Dolphins fans be weirdos. JD, are you a Dolphins fan? I'm just curious. This might actually be an outside person.
JD's right. That fans is fanatical, and sometimes they come weird in there. Look, we have to put up with you. You're kind of weird at times, but he's right about that. By the way, my favorite player is the one that helps me win the game. So, but if you're putting me down, I'll go with the player that I'm most fascinated with. I'm anxious to see what he becomes, and it's Van Ginkel. Okay. I'm anxious. I just love the way he came out last year.
Oh
and you know me, guys. Be a ball gamer practically. But yeah, so I'm just fascinated to see what kind of player he becomes. Okay, and that makes me one of my favorite player because it just perks up my interest. But truly, my favorite player is the one that helps me win the games. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's Tua or if it's going to be Howard or if it's going to be Xavier picking one off, returning for a pick six to win the game. That's my favorite player. Okay, or it's Christian Wilkins creating all the pressures that nobody gives him credit for, creating a sack for a Lawson or Ogba. Okay, those are my favorite top winning games. Those are my favorite players. Yeah, but the most fascinating to me, I've been on this Baker bandwagon that he's got to be looking over his shoulder, and part of it is about Van Ginkel. Okay, in 6 games, he impressed me a hell of a lot more than Baker did in 2 years. And Baker didn't play badly at times, but just didn't impress me that much.
He was out of they played him out of position because of all the injuries.
Whatever the reason was, I don't disagree with you in ball game, but whatever the reason was, he did impress me. And he's gonna, we talked about it, not with you guys, but what role Baker gonna have with this team? Okay, the role I foresee is basically someone that a lot of people are giving to Brandon Jones. So Baker may not be competing against Library; he's going to be competing against Brandon Jones. Okay, because Brandon Jones can cover the tight ends and all that stuff. And so the Dolphins go to a 4-2-5, which I think is a real possibility. That leaves Baker out of the equation. Okay, because Brandon Jones could then take over as the tight end and slot cover guy.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, in order for any quarterback to be successful, and of course, any quarterback that you draft is going to have weaknesses, because all quarterbacks that are currently in the NFL have weaknesses. But
every player,
we're obligated, if we're really going to make a run at it, we're obligated to make sure that the O-line is right, that the running game is right, and that our tight end position is right. We have one tight end on our roster that's productive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, we need to make sure that our whole offensive situation is together, because we can't just lean on him to take us to the promised land. Like, it's not like Messiah's coming, right? Like, whole teams win games. So we got to make sure that he's got all the resources he needs, because, we don't need to be out here, wasting, possibly the best quarterback we've seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I got my 2 cents in. TD, if you want to let somebody else in, I'm gladly to relinquish my time.
Oh, thank you, Larry, for coming on. That meant so much. Hey, Marcus, how you feeling?
That's doing pretty good. That was an interesting little conversation you guys had there for a minute.
I think it's that way. We don't always agree.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
That's the good thing about a conversation with a group of people. You don't always have to agree to have a good conversation. And in fact, sometimes it's better to have a little disagreement, just because you learn from both sides. So,
absolutely. I don't.
Right now?
Say that again, Donald.
I said that's the issue that's going on in the world right now. Nobody has wanted to have a conversation where everybody doesn't agree, and so everybody wants to be uniform and thinks that uniformity means unity. That's not true.
The purpose of a conversation is to try and learn from the other person, as far as I see it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so, guess what?
It's like anything else, right? If you put a salad together, right? They say America's a melting pot. That's like the worst. That's like the worst example you could ever give, because if it's a melting pot, then you've taken pretty much everybody, blended them all, put them all in, and just blending them all up, and now you've taken away the essence of who they truly are. What America needs to strive towards, and what conversations need to be, and things of this nature need to be about, is appreciating what all goes into that salad bowl. You got the lettuce, you got your cucumbers, you got your celery, you got your bell peppers. You know what I'm saying? And each individual piece that you add to the salad keeps its originality of what it is, but it's all embracing and making the whole salad experience that much better. That's the mindset that we have to have, regardless of where you are and who you are. And this country lacks a lot of empathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that's to me, that's the whole reason why we're sitting up here talking about whether it's Ryan Tannehill, whether we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa, whether we're talking about Dak Prescott or anything else, but we just don't talk about the Miami Dolphins QBs. I don't care who they got behind center right now. I still say it, like I said last year, like I said earlier today, and like I say right now. It does not matter who is behind center if the O-line is not fixed. The O-line must play to a point to whereas our quarterback can now have options. That our quarterbacks were too one-dimensional last year. We had no running game. So guess what? The quarterbacks had to be the offense of generating points as well as generating the yards in which we needed in order to be successful in those 5 games that we won. We cannot go out the same way this year as last year. If that O-line does not get itself together, hint, Greer, go get that young man from New Orleans and bring him in there on our O-line. Thank you very much. Get them in here so that way they can be taught and they can be groomed, so that way that our offense can begin to gel a lot quicker than later. So let's get this thing started. And hey, and Finsanity, I appreciated you and TD's discussion concerning Tannehill. This has just been something that's been on a lot of Miami Dolphins fans' mind. They don't know whether to love Tannehill or hate Tannehill. The bottom line is, it didn't matter. It don't matter now. He ain't here.
Appreciate him for what he did.
He was a warrior.
Yes. He was.
I wouldn't say he's a warrior.
I'll put it this way.
Wait.
That
Go out there
conversation.
knowing that knowing that they'll potentially get killed, bro. Come on, man.
Nah. You know what?
Wait, me and you gonna have a conversation, bro, because we here. But listen, at the end of the day, Tannehill did his best.
You tell me.
Underneath the circumstances that he had. And I mean, what more can you ask from a guy?
Well, what I could have asked of him is
winning seasons,
to perform and progress the way you expect a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th year player to progress.
How?
Okay.
How?
No.
How that horrendous?
I can answer that.
I'm listening.
Because there was some seasons that he didn't have a horrific offensive line.
They were below average.
And there were some seasons that they were above average as well.
And he got hurt.
There were some seasons that they were above average. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had Jay Ajayi getting 1,600 yards. So you can't sit there and say that the offensive line was horrific all 7 years.
What season?
Okay, and they did focus some assets in the first 3 rounds of the draft on offensive line since Tannehill's arrival.
Who was that?
So
Jawan James.
Whether they failed or not, they
it's not his fault.
They did put assets. They did devote assets to that unit. Tannehill failed to develop as a quarterback and as a leader, okay? And that is the reason why he got his bus ticket out of town.
I got a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, minus the last 2 years, tell me right now, what lineman we drafted other than Larry Tunsil that's still actively on or is a starter right now in the NFL for some other team?
Jawan James.
James just lost his job. You know that, right? He's not a starter anymore.
He started last year, didn't he?
He played
and
3
we don't
games.
know, and we don't
he played
know
3 games.
We don't know
and
if
Mike
he's going to
start
or not
one
this
dude.
year.
So that's one dude.
Okay.
And Mike Pouncey.
How many others? Who? Pouncey.
He just named Pouncey.
Okay, Pouncey. Who else?
Okay.
That's 2. That's 2 guys now. It take 5 guys to make a line. So who else?
Richie Incognito, Buffalo.
No, we didn't draft Richie Incognito.
Yeah, but I know he came in though.
No, Richie was already Richie. I said that we drafted.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So he said we put assets towards building guys for offensive line. I want to know where they at.
Well, where they're at
but you're saying drafted only. They're saying that they signed guys too. Like they did try to.
What was the kid Martin, the guy that was involved in the bully game?
Are you serious?
Hey, I'm just saying that they devoted assets to it.
You see my point, right?
Stop.
You see my point, right? They didn't put real assets towards putting no offensive line together, bro.
You say where is that?
Dwayne,
right?
Are you gonna sit here and tell me they devoted assets for the O-line and Tannehill?
Come on, man.
Yes, I am.
Dwayne, they brought Dwayne, and then when they finally got a line, they start bullying one of them because of his sexual orientation.
They had a line, but they had a line, right?
They
had a line.
They had a line. Is he serious?
Listen, just because y'all don't like the player that they picked, doesn't mean that they didn't. You asked a question and Dwayne gave you an answer. Just because you don't like the player and how he became.
Bro,
obviously,
you said we specifically devoted assets. I want to know. I want to know who they are.
Those are assets. Those are draft choices and trades. Those are assets. Now, whether
But
they worked out or
they
not,
didn't play. They got suspended.
But TD, the
But
question
TD,
was devoted.
And most of those guys weren't even
they
together.
devoted assets
But
to.
did they go
They
out and
devoted
get him?
assets to them. Okay,
That's the question.
and what
Not
happened? They
What
between
happened
the
is
offensive
we
line
got
and between the wide
They brought
receivers that they
Fields.
signed. I mean, everything was put in place for Tannehill to be great. And guess what? He
got him
fell
Jarvis
on his
Landry.
face.
Hold on,
He fell
Dwayne.
on
So
his
you mean to
face.
tell me? Hold on,
Devontae
Dwayne. So
Parker.
you mean to
I'm
tell
not
me?
a Tannehill lover. I'm not a Tannehill supporter. I think that he's a below average quarterback.
Okay,
And I think that he also is just he just benefited from the fact that Derrick Henry had an outstanding season.
Yeah, they benefited from each other. But I want to say this. So you mean to tell me if they bring in great offensive line players for Tua Tagovailoa and all of them start sucking, and we know that the O-line, those players were just trash, even though they invested assets in them. So it's Tua's fault that he doesn't have success. That's what you're saying.
Why not?
No, but what I'm saying is this. The team and the general manager made decisions to put players that they felt would be successful.
And they
that
failed.
Didn't happen.
No one glorifies Jeff Ireland.
I'm not finished. But
Jeff Ireland was
you cannot say that the team, the franchise, did not try to put players and assets in place to support Tannehill's success. Okay, so you cannot sit there and say that when you had offensive linemen that were drafted, offensive linemen that were traded for, offensive linemen that were signed as free agents, whether or not they all worked out or not, that's besides the point. But your statement stating that they didn't devote anything to the offensive line, which is why Tannehill failed, no, that's not true.
So we should have never fired Jeff Ireland. I mean, not Jeff Ireland. We should have never fired Tannenbaum because he did everything he could to bring in people. We should have never fired him. We can't say that he didn't bring in people.
Saying. That's no TD. Don't put apples and oranges together like that. I'm focusing on one thing: the fact that assets were devoted to the offensive line.
And
now
they got it wrong.
So we can't evaluate the quality of the asset?
Yes,
you can.
You know what?
Yes, you can evaluate the quality of the asset. But by the same token, you can't make blanket statements and say, they didn't devote anything to the offensive line. That's why Tannehill failed. No, Tannehill failed because Tannehill.
Okay, you're right. It's wrong for us to say that they didn't devote, but we feel like they didn't devote because they never got it right. They didn't. So was that a better statement? We feel like they didn't devote assets to the O-line to give him the proper protection because they never got it right with one cohesive unit. And when they finally and you know what? That's another thing. When we think that they finally did, then they had scandals and all kind of problems. Where they get suspended or pounce, then all of a sudden Pouncey blows his knee, or then it's just a train wreck. So I agree with Dwayne. We cannot sit here and say that they didn't put anything around him. They just didn't get it right when they tried to. They never got it right. They never had a good. They never had an above average offensive line for Ryan Tannehill. Then how about that statement?
But can we say this then? It's good that we're having this conversation. However, we also have to make sure that we keep it in its context that the NFL is a team game. See, this is where I disagree with certain people, especially those that have put so much hype with Tua. Don't get me wrong. I believe quarterback is a very important position on the team. But guess what? Even if Tua comes out and balls out and throws touchdown after touchdown, score points after points. I lived in the Marino era when the offense averaged 39 points a game. But I also lived in that same area when I watched the defense give up 40 points a game. And then at the same time, when you talk about Ryan Tannehill, nobody is taking into consideration that guess what? How many coaches he changed during his 7 years while he was here? The things that he was asked to do when he was a rookie all the way up to his third year were not the same things once Adam Gase got in here and everybody else that tried to work with him.
We missing Wanstead. We missing Joe
we missing
Philbin,
all
all
them
of that, bro.
guys. We missing all of them. So
Pat
like
Sherman, all of
but
that.
I do agree with you, Dwayne, because Tannehill did the very same thing that Josh Rosen did. Hold the ball too long before releasing it, getting his receivers either hurt and killed on going out for passes, or he took sacks that were unnecessary. Totally agree with you, Phins, but I still say, and as long as you see this, one thing we can say is this with Ryan Tannehill, he progressed. Now, I'm glad to the point he has progressed himself out of Miami because it couldn't take us anywhere. But at the same time, we needed to build. This rebuild was necessary so that we can get the kind of offensive line that we need in place to be more consistent, not only from a run standpoint, but also from a pass standpoint. So it had to be broken down. And Greer and Flores were the two people that generated that for our current team. We got hope now. So that's what I want to look forward to right now. I'm wishing Tannehill all the best in the world. Hey, and if the Dolphins get knocked out the playoffs and Tannehill is still there, just like I was rooting for Damian Williams when he was with KC last year, I love to see a former Dolphin, go out there and take care of his business. So let's go with that. But right now we're talking about 2021 Miami Dolphins. Let's concentrate on that right now. Let's find out. We don't even know who our quarterback gonna be starting right now because camp ain't even came out. So let's focus on that right now. Let's focus on the here and now, and we can let the other stuff go.
Thank you, Donald.
Well said.
That put things into perspective.
They still ain't put no money towards it, really, though. But okay.
It's over. It's over. It's over. We're done.
Now we can finally bury this. I don't want to hear this man's name brought up in any more context or anything.
Take it out back. Bury it in the dirt.
I only bring it up.
Me and you.
I only bring it up because I don't want it to happen to our next franchise, quote unquote, quarterback.
This is the last one devoted to this. I can't do it no more because some people only want to see. I mean, we both only want to see one side, so we ain't never gonna get nowhere with it.
But we also have a future. I mean, we have a legitimate future. You see, we can talk about all the quarterbacks. We can talk about all the coaches. We want to. It's done. It's done. We moving forwards.
And we got an alpha male that they hit.
We got a top 5 pick as a quarterback. We have a veteran. We have a renewed offensive line, renewed defensive line. We have a top 5 secondary. We don't have to talk about Tannehill or Cleo Lemon, Cam Cameron, fell forward fast. They gone. It's over. It's over.
Is it a top 5 secondary?
Let it go.
Let it go. We in the beginning of a new era. We're in the beginning of a new dynasty. We got to let that go. Tannehill, he can go off, have a good life. Thank you for your contribution. Didn't work out here. It hasn't worked out for a lot of quarterbacks here, including perhaps the greatest quarterback of all time. He didn't get the big prize we all wanted him to get. So at the end of the day,
oh my goodness!
Wow.
Oh my!
At the end of the day,
oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
You know what, TD? I will say one thing about that number 17. He had one good season out of 7.
Hey, TD, you spending too much time living in paradise.
Hey,
don't restart.
Hey, I always bring this up for the haters, man. But Donald is right. Today is a new day, man. This is my last rehab. This is my last rehab.
Hey. That's progress.
Let it go. Let it go.
It's my last rehab. But hey, don't ever forget though that I still got my button.
TD, I'm gonna do the same exact thing if Rosen get cut. I'm gonna do the same exact thing. The only thing I've been wanting to see is just a fair shot. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see.
If he gets it, that's the most important thing. If he even gets that fair shot,
Yes,
That's
all
just
I
gonna
want
be
to
interesting.
see. But if they let him
He'll get
go, fine. I'm only concerned about the ones on the roster.
He
That's
gonna get
all
it.
I'm concerned about.
Mm.
I hope so, ball game. I'm serious. I'm pulling for that young man. I'm pulling for that young man.
Well, let me ask y'all this, and we can start with Finsanity. We can go around. If Rosen does get that fair shot, how is he gonna look?
Well, he ain't gonna start the season. Fitzpatrick gonna start the season. So let's.
No, but how is he gonna look? Are we gonna see an improved Josh Rosen?
I think
or
so.
Are we?
Pictures I saw of him, he don't look nothing like he looked the last couple of years. That boy had ripped. That boy put on some weight, put on some muscle. His head right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's talking a good talk too, especially on the little chat that he got going back and forth. But you know, it is what it is, man. People don't like him, man. People don't like him because they don't know him. People don't like. They don't embrace the struggle too. I mean, the fact that he's still here, man, still fighting for a job, man, tells me the kid ain't no quitter, man. Could have walked home, could have left and been gone a long time ago to play tennis. You know what I mean? Because he's a hell of a tennis player too. Could have been pro at that as well. But the fact of the matter is, you know, people put their eyes on a target and fall in love with another player. And as soon as, you know, that player became available, we took him, which is cool. But hey, pressure bust pipe, man. And competition is competition. And competition at every position is always best. So, you know, you got a guy that's still ready to prove to the world that he's an NFL quarterback, and you got a kid that wants to be the franchise quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. So I said, let them duke it out, man. Let them duke it out the fair and right way, because at the end of the day, if anything is handed to either one of them without them having to go through any amount of struggle, then we're gonna be in the same boat, man. Because
that was the problem with Tannehill.
Anything we know that too. That's what I'm saying. That's the primary reason why I'm telling y'all Josh Rosen's still gonna be on this roster, because as young as he is, he still has a fire lit that he don't want to just be nobody backup. He want to compete. And you need that. You need these guys to go out there and push each other every day. As long as the politics stay out of it and they just let the best player play, let the thing go down to the best player. Whoever wins, be the best player. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Then I don't have no problems with it.
You got a good point. Everyone will have a shot, man. That's that Brian Flores mentality, TW Bluff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's what bothers me. Because, and this is what should make us happily nervous. I know that doesn't make sense, but y'all will get it in a moment. Imagine this O-line playing well out the jump. And imagine that same scenario where they do want to sit Tua for a year. And imagine Josh Rosen having protection and actually looking like a pro quarterback, leading this team to wins.
That's beautiful.
Yes. People can sit here.
That's the problem you want to have.
Yeah, but people can sit here and assume all they would be doing is upping his trade hit value.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to trade somebody who's performing well on a good O-line when you haven't even seen the quote-unquote franchise quarterback take a real snap yet. So that's what's going to be interesting, because I'm going to tell you now, if they do want to sit Tua for a year and Rosen actually beats Fitzpatrick out in camp and gets the start on the season.
It happened once.
You don't want that drama of Rosen actually winning 9 or 10 games going into next season and Tua struggles at the beginning.
You laughing, Phins, but he actually beat him for the job.
I know.
I just want you to remember that he actually beat him for the job.
Yes.
You don't want that.
Coming in 6 weeks behind. He beat him for the job.
You don't want that kind of drama. You don't want that drama, because rookies, young quarterbacks do struggle.
Hey,
TD. Sometimes it's timing. And I could just really imagine Rosen actually having a successful season. I don't care if he lost in the first round of the playoffs, and then they tried Tua out the next year and he struggles and Rosen's still on the roster. You think that Tua starting in 2021 going 0-3, they're not going to be calling for Rosen? Like all the fan base and then people arguing, man, the kid got to get better. Don't be calling for Rosen. But hey, what are we doing here?
I'll tell you what.
Hey, look, go one further. I won't even deal with the current quarterbacks that we got right now. Because since everybody's saying they knew we were going to Josh Rosen, let's go to
They're gonna
Arizona
draft
right
quarterback
now.
next year.
Yep. Go to Arizona right now. We had the rookie of the year there as the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody knows about the sophomore slump. I don't care who you are. I want to see if he could do year 2 like he did year 1. It's going to be interesting to see. I cannot wait to see what happens there, because then it's going to cause more drama. The only thing I'm just sitting up here saying is this. I'd rather deal with a young first-round pick in a Rosen and a Tua who have an empty mind, ready to learn, ready to grasp things, than to sit up here and put all that pressure on, like Bruce Arians talk about, putting the rookie in, throwing them in the fire, and letting them learn trial by fire, like Peyton Manning and the rest of them did. I don't know about Bruce Arians, but the defenders that we seeing now are a lot bigger than they were 15 years ago when Peyton Manning came out. And I'm telling you right now, that this ain't good for no QB, especially one like the one we have right now.
Peyton said he hated his first season.
Oh my goodness,
hated it. He said he could not on Saturday nights. He was throwing up for literally 2.5 to 3 hours. Couldn't get settled in. Couldn't rest because he was worried. So worried about going out and underperforming because he had all that pressure on him in his first season, and he threw them interceptions his first season.
Yes.
He said he hated it. He said he hated it. He said he wish he could have had an opportunity to sit and just learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Out of his own mouth, he said he wish he had an opportunity to have sat and learned his first season. He said it was all too much. It was too overwhelming. Had his stomach tied up in knots.
For all those people who point to Roethlisberger's success as a rookie quarterback, there are a lot more quarterbacks who struggle like crazy in their first year, their rookie year. Okay, don't be so quick to throw Tua out there to the Lions, because if he loses confidence, you might lose him for the whole rest of his career.
It's hard to get that back, man. That's what happened to Josh. He lost confidence in himself. And it took a conversation. It took a conversation between him and Flores when they actually told him they was getting him that quarterback's coach for him to feel like, because he just knew. He said to himself, "I'm gonna be out of here, right? I know they're gonna get rid of me." And then Flores called him in and then told him, "said Listen, we're not giving up on you. Your situation has been unlike anyone we've ever seen. So you're gonna have to work for everything you get."
Ball game. You remember Jason
but you have
Campbell?
a legitimate shot at being a part of this team, huh?
You remember Jason Campbell from Auburn?
Yes,
he is the
I
only
remember him.
QB. He is the only QB to me that has been in Josh Rosen's situation. He is the only pro QB that has been in Josh Rosen's situation. But you know what? Washington at least stuck with it. And like I'm saying, I can't give up on a 23-year-old, 3-year first-round draft pick QB when you're not paying really much of a salary for him. He's still young, still developing, and still has the moxie to sit up here and be a starting QB. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, if they want to get rid of him, so be it. I'm only going for those people on a Dolphins roster. That's what I'm pulling for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Marcus, you got anything to say? I'm sorry, Hap.
I mean,
Marcus, go have it.
no, that's
Marcus.
fine.
I gotta go, y'all. Hey,
Promise the wrong
peace and
game.
love,
Have it,
man.
then
Always a
Marcus.
pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah, y'all
later.
be good.
Take care.
All right.
Okay.
Hey,
Go
there
ahead.
we go. If we didn't give up on Parker, then we better not give up on Rosen. There it is.
Yeah.
Y'all be good.
I mean, I got opinions on Rosen. But
I think everybody does.
If anyone else wants to say anything,
But all right, y'all be good.
Take care, ball game.
All right, ball game.
later. Yeah.
So talk to
I mean,
us.
you got anything to say, Havoc?
Yeah, I mean, it luckily we have an administration between Greer and Flores that they don't succumb to the public pressure. They don't succumb to the national media, the local media. They have fostered a culture of competition at every single position. So training camp is going to make geniuses and fools out of everybody here. So, my perspective, if I'm looking at it, I don't know what Josh Rosen's future with the team is long term, because if he wants to be a starter, it looks like, Tua is the heir to that throne. I'm hard pressed to see where he fits in, because he's young enough that he still wants to be a starter in the NFL, but he may not be that guy. So, and I don't think he's going to necessarily get that opportunity here. Perhaps, in this season, he may see a few snaps, and I think, they're going to get him a few snaps this season. But in terms of his overall future with the franchise, I don't see where he fits in.
Ooh, Rosen?
Or I'll just put it this way. He's still younger than Joe Burrow. And before last year, right,
Yes.
what would you have considered Joe Burrow as a quarterback prospect? Basically, maybe a mid-fifth rounder, right? Like, he made that turnaround in 1 year because he just had the right system and everything went well for him that year. And he turned everything around. He turned everyone's opinions around. Rosen's still younger than him. He could have that same kind of turnaround. Now, is it likely? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying don't count the kid out, right? Don't count the kid out, especially because you don't know how important it is to at that point in your career have a coaching staff who you feel like believes in you, right? Because at this point, I honestly think they believe in Rosen. I think that they have a lot of faith in Rosen and are giving him a legitimate shot. I don't think they've got him in the building and be like, oh yeah, you're totally gonna compete with Tua. Wink, wink. Yeah, try hard, kid. Try hard. You're definitely getting the spot, right? I think that they're actually giving him a shot, and I think that to him, after what happened in Arizona, I think that means a lot to him, and I think he really wants to prove to this coaching staff that he can do it. I think he wants to beat Tua for that starting job, and hey, more power to the kid. If Rosen can go out there and win the starting job over Tua and over Fitz and all that, then I'm just like, hey, you know what I said about Tua? If Tua starts week 1, that means this coaching staff has a lot of confidence in him. If Rosen starts week 1, that means this coaching staff has a lot of confidence in him. And you got to be happy about that. You got to be happy about that.
Hey, Havoc,
Yeah.
Steve Neal wants you to state whether or not you really wanted Rosen on the bus, or did you want to issue him a bus ticket or not?
Oh, it's post-dated. I mean, it's post-dated. It's post-dated. I mean, because you can't tell a 23-year-old quarterback that your projection is as a backup. I mean, realistically, if we're being realistic, they're looking at Tua for that role to be the franchise quarterback. Everybody here knows that. It's a matter of production. Now,
but that's going against the narrative of saying the 37-year-old that's in there is going in there without the concept or having the ability of being the starting quarterback too, when we know that Fitz right now is going to be the starter, trying to teach everybody else. So guess what? But if that's the case, and that's the logic between competition with Flores on his team, then guess what? Josh Rosen got just as much of a shot, because I'm telling you right now, the one thing that I've noticed that's a consistent thing about this team is this. Who's making the most money out the 4 quarterbacks that's on the team right now? If anybody gets cut, and if the competition is that close, and if Rosen got a chance to supplant Fitz for that starting job, I'm telling you right now, Fitz is either going to be cut or traded to another team, because that's $10 million you could save to go out there and get that offensive lineman that I've been talking about to bring him in here. So I'm telling you, he got just enough to get anybody.
Okay, so you feel that if Rosen impresses enough in training camp, if you're saying that if Rosen impresses enough in training camp that he gets the starting role, that they're going to drop Fitzpatrick and ride it out with Rosen and Tua.
Why not? Because everybody has already written Rosen out. And I'm just saying, use the same narrative. If we're going to use the same narrative, like saying having a predated bus ticket for Rosen, I'm having one for Fitzpatrick. I got one for Rudder. The only one that I don't have a bus ticket for is Tua, because he was our number 5 overall pick. He's the only one that got any certainty. And I will go so far and close to say this. Rosen ain't going to go nowhere either, especially since you gave up a number 2 pick to get him in Miami and you're not paying his salary. He's only making $2 million and he's 23 years old. So why in the world would I pay $10 million for a 37-year-old that can't beat out a 23-year-old that didn't really know the offense, who came in 2 months after everybody else, but now he has an equal shot with everybody else, and he just beat you out for the job?
Hey, if that narrative happens where he comes into training camp guns blazing, I mean that's best for us. That only benefits us. It only benefits us, but well, we'll see.
And I'll put it this way: I'd keep Fitz around regardless, because there's some things that you just get from having that veteran presence in the locker room that you can't really have with two rookies who are competing for the job. I'd keep him around for the last year of his contract. He earned at least that much last year. And I would, keep him in, because he said he's willing to teach Tua. He's been in that backup spot before where he's not gotten the job, but he's still been humble about it. He's still done his job, and he's still mentored people who were ahead of him because he's that kind of a person. I think he's got that kind of coaching spirit, which I like about him. And I think that's why he's going to stay on the roster, even if Rosen and Tua are competing like hell for the job. I think he's going to stay on the roster just because he's that presence who can guide them through some of the bumps and bruises of being an NFL quarterback, especially in Tua's rookie season.
Okay, so print that bus ticket out for Ruddock then.
Well, no previous first round pick that's Rosen's age, like literally his age, will be given up on. There is a such thing as becoming a man, and not just being a man off the field, but becoming a man amongst men on the football field. And sometimes those things don't take place until a few years in the league. And Rosen came in this league as a baby, y'all. That just really think about that. Yeah? He came into this league as a baby. He's not going to be given up on. Now, he does have an uphill climb, in my opinion. But at the same token, listen, sometimes all that individual needs is a shot. All he needs is a shot. So if we're gonna have a narrative of like we don't see where his future is with the Dolphins, all you need is a shot. Do you know how many quarterbacks have gone into a situation just hoping they get a shot, and they did, and they came out of that situation as the franchise quarterback for years to come?
Hey,
you think Dak Prescott was supposed to be the franchise quarterback in Dallas?
No. Perfect example.
Do you know how many situations happen like that, y'all?
Perfect example of that is Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner wasn't even expected to be probably on the roster, and then he ends up with Trent Green getting hurt, and he ends up a Super Bowl MVP.
Yes.
So you never know. Yeah. You never know.
And hey, Steve Young was a Buccaneer at one point. So
yeah, he was drafted as a Buck.
Yeah.
Alex Smith was trash his first year in the NFL. People are already calling him a bust. And then it took a coaching change and a little bit of familiarity with the NFL, and all of a sudden he's, popping off like some kind of MVP. And
Marcus, it took him 8 years.
I'm not saying
it took him 8 years. I watched Alex Smith. 8 years.
His years in the San Francisco weren't bad near the end. He was getting good. Yeah. He was getting good. They just decided to go with Kaepernick because he was running a different offense, an offense that they wanted to do more than they wanted his style of quarterback play. So I don't blame Alex Smith for getting shipped out of San Francisco. I don't see that as his fault. Right now, whether or not I would honestly take like second year Alex Smith as a franchise quarterback. Right? He just happened to be in a bad position. Just like Rosen happened to be in a bad position, had a really bad first year, and the coach that they brought in literally stated before he got the job, if he had the number 1 pick, he'd draft Kyler Murray. He gets the number 1 pick, and he drafts Kyler Murray. Like, how do you blame Rosen for that situation? It's very hard to do so. Now, you can say, yeah, he could have played better. And I will admit, Rosen could definitely have played better. But there's always circumstances around someone, right? Which is why I'm saying Rosen's future in Miami is up to him. His future in the NFL is up to him because this coaching staff will give him a chance, right? This isn't like, Arizona where they just shipped him off as soon as they got the other guy. We're keeping him here. We're giving him a chance. And I think that he has a chance to become the starting quarterback. I don't think it's very likely, but he has that chance. And who knows? Maybe he just loves it in Miami so much that even if he does play very well, he decides, I'd rather be a backup here than a starter anywhere else. You never know. We could have the best backup in the entire league for all anyone knows, right? It's just you gotta let these things play out, right? Time will tell, and his future is up to him.
It is. It's that would be a hard scenario to accept. Like if he had a starting position floating out there, because the pay disparity between a backup and a starting quarterback nowadays, it's huge. If he gets the chance to be a starting quarterback anywhere, I don't think he's it's warm. I'm gonna hang out. I don't think that's gonna happen. And for me, until I hear Brian Flores say into a microphone that Josh Rosen is starting for the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to reserve judgment. I'll say it like that. You got it. Yeah, as a Dolphins fan, I hope everyone balls out. I hope everybody balls out. Mm-hmm. But I've seen him play, so it is what it is.
Well, Havoc, the only thing I'm saying is just keep this in mind. Josh Rosen's rookie year, he was supposed to sit behind the starter. And you know who the starter was, right? The starter.
Bradford? What?
Yes, Sam Bradford. He gets hurt week 3. After week 3, he loses. Josh Rosen is inserted into the starting lineup. After that time, Josh Rosen loses his entire starting offensive line, his 2 starting running backs, 2 of the starting 3 wide receivers, and he's dealing with a first-year head coach. All of them gone, including Rosen, after 1 year. And that was not his fault. But at the same time, it's amazing to me how we want to put and shift everything on him and saying that he was the cause and the end all from all of that. And him coming to Miami, he couldn't win the job when he came in 2 months after the 2 QBs that were here got the playbook. Chad O'Shea with a 115-page playbook, and that was the first install, and nobody understood it except for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And now all of a sudden, guess what? Josh Rosen is a bad QB. No, now we got a new OC, we got a new offensive line coach. Everything is brand new. Everybody's starting off fresh. So now let's just cut it like it is. Let the best man win. Hey. Put them out there and let them go.
And Flores we trust.
You know what? 7 years y'all put up with Tannehill, and y'all are ready to run Rosen out of town after just one.
Okay. After 7 years, I put up with Devontae Parker, and last year was the first time he sat up there and showed out. But like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Time, y'all say it with me. Time will tell.
When you get in the t-shirt, TD.
Yeah, time will tell.
When you get in the t-shirt, time will tell, and these are the attributables.
Will tell.
You know what? I like that. I like that one. Time will tell. I gotta get.
Yeah, no, you need an attributables t-shirt.
Yes.
Time will tell. And the attributables.
Yes.
And I'm gonna put all y'all picture on there.
Oh God, bless you. No, I just gotta say, this
is what it is, bro.
Hey, put all the famous TD.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. At the end of the day,
that's another.
Time will tell. The attributables and Buffalo trash.
We hadn't beat them in 3 straight. We hadn't beat them in 3 games. 3 straight.
I don't care about all that. Yeah, let me tell you why we ain't beat Buffalo. You said it was for the run game earlier. The reason why we ain't beat Buffalo because Nick Needham was getting burnt at the beginning of the season by Buffalo's receiver.
Yep,
it's the truth. The man put up 137 and 2 touchdowns in one game, and the next game he put up 2 touchdowns and 88 yards.
But how many touchdowns did Allen run for?
Huh?
how many touchdowns did Allen run for? Because that ain't nothing but a running quarterback back there.
He
Ain't
threw
nothing but
for
a running
one
back.
touchdown in one game and then 3 in another game.
Yeah, and we didn't stop him.
I will say I can respect the Bills as an opponent, while still saying we're going to crush them. We're going to crush them.
Right.
We got all the pieces to disable their team. It's just a matter of if they play well.
If they play well,
there's
who got the better? I'm curious.
Exactly.
Who got the better coach? Buffalo or Miami?
Oh, us definitely.
Oh.
You got to think he's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in the entire NFL, and he's going to be throwing on this secondary. I mean, I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion. I'm just saying they better make sure the run game is on point.
Well, slow down because you're jinxing us. We got to make sure X ain't he actually on the field first.
Okay. Even if X isn't on the field, Needham's good enough to lock down at least Josh Allen, right?
You know, you're right.
So
you're
I'm
right.
not saying
if X ain't on the field, we do get better. You're right.
I mean, we did last year. We did last year. I mean, our passing defense got better once he left, right? Which doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad player. I'm just saying you got improvement from a lot of people. I think X is a valuable addition to this team, but we don't need him. We don't need Xavier Howard to be a good defense, right? It's just nice to have, right? Because he's going to scare quarterbacks into not wanting to throw interceptions. So hopefully they don't throw it at him at all.
Okay.
And hey, that's good defense too, right?
I got one last question, and for you all. Do you think the Dolphins will make a last-minute push to get one of these top viable free agents right now, whether it's making a trade, getting Jamal Adams, whether it's getting Walford, getting the offensive guard from New Orleans, or making a push and going ahead and getting Jadeveon Clowney? Do you see them doing it before camp?
Listen, we have the room to do it. At least one of them.
I would push.
I don't think we will.
I would push for Jamal Adams.
I don't think so.
But I don't think they're gonna do any of them. But if it was up to me, it would be Jamal Adams because of the fact that you could, with that acquisition, you could put people in the secondary in their more natural positions.
True. You may call up the Jets and catch Adam Gase slipping. You know, you call him up during happy hour. He's got the bugged out eyes. You never know what type of deals he's looking to make.
Just call him up 10 minutes before a press conference.
I'm telling you,
I don't know.
That press conference is crazy.
I don't even like.
I would definitely like Jamal Adams, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's a lot of. I mean, maybe we try. I think we're definitely going to at least make an attempt, but I don't think we're going to try and sell the farm to get someone like Jamal Adams, even if the option was there. Would you pay a first and a fifth for Jamal Adams or anything like that? I don't even know if I'd pay a second because you still got to pay the man when his contract's over.
Nah, I would give away a second round pick for Jamal Adams. I wouldn't give away a first.
I mean, that's how many years does he have on his contract?
Oh, he's at the end of it.
He's about to come up. He's about to get his money.
So he got to get paid.
Yeah.
But guys, we're in the 11 o'clock hour. This might be something that we can continue in the morning. So y'all check me and Finsanity out in the morning. When we wake up 7 a.m. sharp Eastern Standard Time. We might pick up right there, Finsanity, talk a little bit about, is there a chance that we pick up any of these guys? If we do, who would be the best option for the team that would help us? That should be a really good conversation. So if you're waking up for hump day and you want to start your day out right, make sure you check out me and Finsanity on Wake Up with TD in the morning. And Finsanity.
Class of the stream. There you go. Miss Finsanity.
Only when she ain't hating on Tannehill, Donald.
Thank you, Donald.
Oh God, no.
Finsanity. Remember,
you
gotta have that conversation.
Dwayne, ooh boy, Dwayne.
Yeah,
boy,
gotta love it. Gotta love it. You guys take care.
Thank you,
love y'all. We appreciate y'all love and support.
Love y'all, man.
Donald, thank you.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
take
guys.
Care.
Take care.
Thank y'all so much for rocking with us, everybody in the comment section. We appreciate y'all love. We appreciate y'all support, man. This is TD FINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Me and Finsanity will see y'all in the morning, guys. We love y'all. Peace.